What up, decoders? Thanks for tuning in today. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are all well. We're going to give a minute here and see if some people join. Please give me that thumbs up in the chat. Let me know everything's working the sound. And yeah, so just wait for some people to join and then we'll get started. Thank you guys. You guys know the drill. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hello, Coffee Girl. Hello, Morgan. Hope you're doing well. Dougie and Peggy. Hello, Miriam. And hello, Visionary Vet. Nice to see you all. So I don't know if you guys are getting tired of Back to the Future, but I mean, I can't stop this Back to the Future stuff now. It's too much of a connection right now. So hopefully you guys don't get tired of Back to the Future. But I'm sure most of you guys are already caught up on my last two videos. If you're not, if you're just new to the channel or if you haven't watched my last two videos, make sure you guys go back and check out those videos because you might understand this video a bit more because I don't want to talk about all the same stuff I talked about in my last videos. So make sure you guys rewatch those. Let's see. Hello, Miriam. Hello, Decoding Our Reality. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Jessica. Are we about to time travel? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows whatever is about to happen. It sure is interesting. So we'll give it another minute, guys, and see if some people join in. I know it's a bit short notice. Please hit those like buttons if you're now just getting in. That always helps the channel. Also, the donation link is at the top of the chat as usual. Buy me a coffee. You guys can donate there. Better than donating on YouTube. Okay, Digitize Now says keep talking about Back to the Future. It's fascinating. Yeah, sure is fascinating. It's obvious that this movie was pointing to the current election that we're experiencing right now. It's so obvious in so many different ways. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll get ready to jump into the presentation. It's just starting to get a bit cooler here in Albania. I'll be leaving and going back to Germany here in a few days, so it's going to be a lot cooler there. I'm going to try to enjoy the warm, sunny weather before I leave. Decoding Our Reality says 12/3 will be 473 months after the original movie release. 7:53 is the 473rd minute of the day. That's interesting because the 7:53 is in the movie, the beginning of it. That's a good find. Thank you for sharing that. I'll look more into that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get jumping into it. Seems like the chat's a bit light today, but like I said, there's probably some people that are tired of hearing about Back to the Future, but we got to cover at least one more time here. Yeah, thank you, Decoding Our Reality. That's a good find. I'll definitely look into it. All right, so in my last video, I covered how the election is clearly tied to Trump and how it's clearly tied to Back to the Future. And Back to the Future, the very next day, did you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys watched that video. The video that just hours after I did a video about Back to the Future, the New York Post posted Trump on the front of the cover with Back to the Future. You know what? I'm not going to show the cover in this video because I think they're blocking my videos for showing that cover. I don't know why. But yeah, but if you guys watch that video, go back and watch it. It's so crazy. I can't believe that happened. So in this video, we're going to take it a step further and we're going to cover all about the gigawatts, the 1.21 gigawatts. And we're also going to connect this to what happened the other night at the World Series. And then we're going to connect this to Revelation. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Here we go. So the first thing to point out here is the very beginning of the movie. I went back and I rewatched this movie for you guys. And this is the number I want to start talking about first because it's the obvious, very important number. So in the very beginning of the movie, Doc Brown, he's experimenting with time travel, okay? And he wants to send the dog, Einstein, 1 minute into the future. And in the very first scene of the movie, we see the dog, Einstein, sitting in the car, and he sends the car into the future 1 minute, and the dog reappears at 1:21 a.m. Okay? So what a joke it is that Einstein appears at 1:21 a.m. and Einstein equals 121. Okay, and I saw Miriam in the chat talking about Sirius. Yes, there's a huge Sirius, the dog star connection. Einstein equals Sirius. Actually, let me show you that because I don't think I can skip over that. Let me just show that. This decode is not about Sirius, but it's worth pointing this out. So see how Sirius equals 95? You see how Einstein equals 95? So hold on. 95 and 49. Hold on a second. So look, Einstein equals Sirius. Now we know Sirius is the dog star, and Einstein is the dog, becoming the first person to travel into the future, or the first. He's not a person, but he's an animal. So, anyways, right before Doc sends him into the future, he says we're about to see some serious stuff, right? Sirius, the dog star, and then he sends Einstein, which equals Sirius, into the future. Okay. It's just so crazy, I mean, it's so obvious. How much more obvious does it need to be? I mean, he even says Sirius, It's just, it's clear as day. And yeah, definitely something that needs to be pointed out. So, but this decode is not about the dog star. I mean, it could be, but it's not really. Maybe the Antichrist is the dog star. I don't know. But anyways, he sends the dog into the future, and the dog arrives at 1:21 a.m. Now, Einstein equals 121, okay? So there's your first connection, right? Now, right after this, Doc is talking about how he came up with the idea of time travel and how he invented the flux capacitor. And I took a screenshot, and here's the subtitles. And as he's speaking, he literally says, I came to a revelation. And look at his face as he's saying, I came to a revelation. 121, guys. This is why the 121, the dog arrives at 121, and then he speaks about a revelation, which equals 121. Now, not only does revelation equal 121, Antichrist equals 121. Now, this is a reference to Satan or Lucifer, who falls like lightning. And in order to power the flux capacitor, you need lightning. Okay? You need electricity. So this is completely connected of course, to revelation and Satan and lightning, right? And this is the reason why he says revelation, okay? A vision, like revelation is a vision of the end or the return of Christ, okay? Now, flux capacitor, which is the object of time travel, it equals 149, like revelation, like antichrist, okay? So you have both the 149s and the 121s, okay? And it goes perfectly with the dog traveling to 121 a.m. And the dog equals his name, Einstein, equals 121. Okay, so this is like literally the first 5 minutes of the movie, right? Now, not only does the dog go to 121 a.m., in order to power the DeLorean, you need 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. So here you go again. In order to power the flux capacitor, which is a Y, like the serpent's tongue. So the Y is the serpent's tongue, guys. That's what that is. Now, in order to power the serpent's tongue, you need electricity. You need 1.21 gigawatts. Okay? Revelation, Antichrist, 121. And you need lightning. Satan falls like lightning. So it's absolutely obvious that this number is it is important to the whole movie. Okay, my girlfriend's in the chat. Love you, Maria. Recipes with Maria. Go check out her recipe channel if you guys haven't. So, anyways, 121 gigawatts. Revelation. It's all connected to that. Now, here's where it gets crazy because I already showed you how this movie's connected to the number 121 clearly. And if you measure, so in the movies, the date they travel back to is November 5th, 1955. And the date they travel forwards to is 10/21/2015. Well, here you go, guys. The future date is 10/21. This is the digits 1, 2, 1. Again. So there's 4 different 121s connected to this movie. The future date they travel to is literally 121. Okay? Now, if you measure the amount of days between the past date they travel to and the future date, the amount of days in between is 21901 days if you add the day. This is the 121st pentagonal number. And this was perfectly selected, guys. These dates were perfectly selected to come out to the 121st amount of days pentagonal. And the pentagonal is the pentagram, Satan. Okay, the 121 pentagonal, the pentagram. Okay, representative of Satan, the Church of Satan has the pentagram. All right. So again, that's why it's all about 121. They're talking about the time of a revelation is upon us. Okay. Jessica Lynn, what does that mean? What are you referring to? The 121? The 121 is the number of Antichrist revelation. They're telling us that whatever this time period this is pointing to is the time of revelation. We are in the time of revelation. Okay. And I've shown in my last videos how this movie was pointing to this election. This movie was made for this time, guys. Oh, pentagonal? So a pentagonal number, let's just look it up so you guys can see real fast. It's hard to explain. It's not as easy to explain as so a pentagonal number is all about the number 5. You can make a pentagon out of the making, you have to build a pentagon. Okay. So for instance, the 16th pentagonal would be this. I mean, it's hard to explain, but Let's see if I can find a good chart here. Well, the point about the easiest way to explain it right now without getting into too much detail is that it's all about the number 5. You're trying to build a pentagon, okay? And the amount of numbers it takes to fill up the pentagon is what, so however many dots is in this, right? Now, the reason that's important is because the pentagram, okay, of course, the Pentagon is the United States in the United States, right? The pentagram is the satanic symbol. So the fact that, yeah, 5 pointed, like to be anointed, yeah. So the fact that between these two dates in the movie, the past date and the future date is the 121st pentagonal number, okay? It's not a coincidence because you have the 5 reference, which is all about the fives, right? Because the date they travel back to is November 5th, right? 11 times 5 is 55. And they travel to the year 1955. Okay, so it's all about the fives. In fact, time travel equals 125 in gematria. And 125 is 5 times 5 times 5. Okay, so the 5 is a huge number. Okay. And again, this is because the pentagram is the symbol of the Satanic Church. Satan equals 55. Lightning equals 55. That's why the lightning is connected. Okay, that's why the gigawatts is 1.21. Okay, Revelation, Antichrist. I'll talk more about the fives in a minute, but all right. So yeah, here's more about the fives. So look at the number 121, right? The number 121 is the 11th square, which means 11 times 11 equals 121, okay? It's also the 5th star number. And star numbers are even harder for me to explain, but a star number is very rare, okay? So it's the 11th square and the 5th star, which is the 11.5. So even the number 121 gives us the date 11.5. Uncanny Deduction says the pentagrammaton, yeah. That too. There's also the pentagrammaton. So anyways, and this is what this is all about, guys, 55. They travel back to the date 11/5/55. 11 times 5 is 55 in the year 55. So 55, 55. 11, lightning equals 55, Satan 55, okay? The election this year is on November 5th, which 11 times 5, 55, okay? Now this is how I'm going to prove. Okay, guys, pay attention to this. I am going to show without a shadow of a doubt that this movie was scripted to this election coming up. Okay? And there's in my mind there's no denying this when I'm about ready to show you. So after this, you guys should know that this movie was pointing us to this election day, okay? But before we get into that, you guys need to know the Greek word for Antichrist is Antichristos. That's how you spell it, Antichristos. And Antichristos equals flux capacitor. 2503, okay? And I already made the connection that the flux capacitor is the lightning. The Antichrist falls like lightning. The lightning needs to strike the flux capacitor, and then they can travel through time, okay? Now look at the word time travel. It equals 2053. The same digits. The zero's just in the wrong spot, right? But what I'm about ready to show you is crazy, so get ready for this one. Hold on to your hats, guys. From the release date of Back to the Future to the election is exactly 2053 weeks. Exactly. That's the gematria of time travel. 2053 in squares. And I just told you this is all about the 121, which is the 11th square number. Okay? I'm only using 3 ciphers in this. I'm using the forward, the reduction, and the squares cipher, which obviously is, what do you mean how many ciphers am I using? You cannot tell me that this is not perfect. This is perfectly aligned with what I was just telling you, okay? Because again, this movie is about time travel. The word time travel equals 2053. In this movie, they travel to November 5th. If you measure from the movie release to upcoming November 5th, it's exactly 2053 weeks, which is the gematria of time travel. And look, 2053 is a prime number. It's the 310th prime number. The election is on the 310th day of the year. I hope that's sinking in. Not only does the number perfectly align with time travel, it aligns with the 10th day, the 310 of all numbers. This number is the 310th prime. It's the 310th day of the year it points you to. So how can you tell me that this movie, on top of what I've already shown you guys in the past videos, what I've already shown you guys about how this is, they just released Trump on the cover of New York Post with the words "Back to the Future" on it. So that should tell you they want you to see this. Okay? And this is just crazy to me. This is the perfect amount of weeks for this movie to line up to this date. But yeah, hopefully you guys get that. That's huge. It's huge. And just to reiterate, again, from the release of the movie to the election, 2053, flux capacitor equals 2503, Antichristos 2503, time travel 2053. Okay? And look, in the same cipher, I'm only using one cipher here, guys. I'm not using multiple ciphers. I'm using one cipher. Marty McFly is one number short of flux capacitor. And if you guys know the rule of Colel, which is a Masonic thing, you can add or subtract the number 1 to any digit without losing the value. Okay? So Marty McFly essentially equals 2502 and flux capacitor equals 2503. And this movie to this election is on the verge of 2502 and 2503 weeks. Okay, so it's perfectly aligned with Marty McFly and flux capacitor measuring with this movie in this election. Okay. Now remember, the election is the 60th election. The days between that they travel to is almost 60 years. Okay, so there's another connection to the 60, right? Now, in the movie, after you get through the beginning scene, Marty is with his girlfriend and they're walking around and they see, and in the background, you hear this. You hear elect Mayor Goldie Wilson. So, guys, not only did I tell you that this points perfectly to this election, with this 2053 exactly, okay, time travel equals 2053 weeks exactly. The scene after that, they're trying to get you to re-elect somebody. They're trying to tell you about an election. And the guy on the front of this, who plays Goldie Wilson, is Donald Full I Love. What are we solving here? What does it look like we're solving? Have I not already solved Okay, first of all, if you guys haven't seen my last two videos on Back to the Future, you're not going to completely get this. We're showing how Back to the Future movies were pointing to this election, telling us something is coming at this election time, okay? Back to the Future is pointing to Revelation. We're in the time of Revelation. We're in the time of the Antichrist. We're in the time of the election, okay? And I've already proven that in my last videos. Why do you think the New York Post just released a cover with Trump on the front with the words Back to the Future? Okay? But anyways, in the movie, right after they time travel, okay, and remember, to the person asking this question, Taylor Rama, remember, in the movie Back to the Future, they travel back to November 5th, 1955. The election this year is on November 5th. Okay, but anyway, Donald Fullilove plays Goldie Wilson. So they want you to elect Goldie Wilson. And he's played by Donald. Donald. So here's your clue, guys. But he's black. Interesting. So he's not white, he's black, but he's named Donald, and they want you to re-elect him, but he's a black guy. It's kind of backwards, right? It's almost like inversion, right? And this guy is wanting to be reelected on October 25th, 1985. That's the present day during the movie, okay? Now, after Marty travels back to November 5th, 1955, which again, this year, the election is on November 5th, they now want you to elect Red Thomas. But now, he's not a black guy. He's not named Goldie. He's named Red. And he's a white old guy. So do you guys see the difference? In the present time, they want you to elect the black guy named Donald, who plays Goldie, and in the past, on November 5th, they want you to elect an old white guy named Red. Interesting, right? Now, this is perfect, guys, because the two people they want you to elect, the one in the past and the one in the present, they have the names Thomas and Wilson. This points us right back to Trump, because in the movie, Biff Tannen, the main antagonist, is played by Thomas Wilson. So they're pointing you with these two people, being Thomas and Wilson, they're pointing you to Biff Tannen, and Biff Tannen is clearly the Back to the Future writer Bob Gale has revealed that the trilogy's villain Biff Tannen is based on Donald Trump. And the two people they want you to elect in the movie are Thomas and Wilson, and that's the name of the guy who plays Biff Tannen, Thomas Wilson. And don't overlook the fact that their names are Red and Gold. Red and Gold. What's red and gold, guys? Can anyone in the chat tell me what you guys think this red and gold is about? Let's see if anyone in the chat has any ideas. Yeah, it's about the alchemy process, turning lead to gold, right? Also, rubido is an alchemical process as well. Red, rubido. And gold is the alchemy also. Lead to gold. Red to gold. You guys hear the play on words here? The past guy was red. The present is gold. Red to gold, like lead to gold. All right. The 49ers, exactly. The San Francisco 49ers. Their colors are red and gold. Exactly. Now, who is connected to San Francisco? Oh, Kamala Harris. Was the DA in San Francisco. So not only do you have a Trump connection here, you have a San Francisco connection. Now, the middle name of Thomas F. Wilson is Francis, like Francisco, Pope Francis, right? Thomas Francis Wilson. Now, in the movie Biff Tannen, he goes from being the bully to being the servant. Yeah, Trump is Biff. Yeah, and you guys have no idea how much this guy is connected to the Golden Gate Bridge and the bridge collapse this year. This guy, Biff Tannen, Thomas F. Wilson, he's connected to the bridge collapse. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm going to show that in this video. I might make a separate video on that. But this guy literally has the birthday. Biff Tannen has the birthday of the bridge collapse this year. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed on Biff Tannen's birthday. And Biff Tannen's character is Thomas Francis Wilson, okay? And Biff Tannen was born in 1937. The Golden Gate Bridge opened in 1937, okay? So there's a huge connection here to the Golden Gate Bridge. In the movie, what's the famous, does anyone know, can anyone in the chat tell me what is the famous line in the movie that the doc always says? What does he always say, guys? Come on, you guys know this. You have the Francis Wilson who plays Biff Tannen, and what does the doc always say in the movie? Great what? Great Scott. Yep. Francis Scott Key Bridge, guys. Biff Tannen was born on the day of his birthday was the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. Now look at this. Great Scott equals bridge collapse. Mic drop. Yeah, and that's right. In alchemy, red and gold are associated with the final stage of the alchemical process. Exactly. The philosopher's stone. Exactly. Great Scott. Okay, let me rehash this one more time. In the movie, they always say Great Scott, right? The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed at 1:28 a.m., 128 days before Francis Scott Key's birthday, and bridge collapse equals 128. The middle name of Biff Tannen, when is Biff Tannen? Let me show you guys. When is Biff Tannen's birthday? Biff Tannen's birthday is March 26th, the day of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. And the guy who plays Biff Tannen is Francis. His middle name is Francis. And Biff Tannen was born in 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge opened in 1937. You see? Biff Tannen born on the bridge collapse this year, in the year the Golden Gate Bridge was opened. They're telling you about a collapse of another bridge, I'm telling you. In fact, let's go back to 1937. So Biff Tannen, born on 3/26/1937, the 85th day of the year, like the movie came out in 1985. The Golden Gate Bridge opened on May 27th, 1937. And look at that, guys. 60. So basically, okay, first of all, the Golden Gate Bridge opened on 88 date numerology. 5 plus 27 plus 19 plus 37, 88. Okay? So Biff Tannen was born 8 weeks and 6 days before the Golden Gate Bridge opened. Okay? So, again, we had a bridge collapse this year on Biff Tannen's birthday. And now Biff Tannen is connected to the Golden Gate. Okay? And I just showed you in these slides that the two characters they want you to, yeah, Dr. Savage, yeah. Biff Tannen was born 266 days before the 266th Pope's birthday. Exactly. And his middle name is Francis, like Pope Francis. Yeah, that means next year on May 27th will be 88 years since the Golden Gate opened. I think that's your signal, guys. Watch out for next year, 88 years after the Golden Gate opened. Okay? But let's get back on track here. The two guys they want you to re-elect, the one in the past and the one in the present, are Thomas and Wilson. And that connects you right back to Thomas Wilson, who plays Biff Tannen. Now, they're named Red and Gold, as Dr. Savage just said. In the alchemy process, the final stages of alchemy are rubido, red, and gold. Okay, so it's the alchemy. The final stages, guys, they're telling us that the election coming up, the time we're in right now, is the final stages of the revelation. It's the final stages of the alchemy process. Okay? Things are about ready to change. I feel like after this election, things are going to just escalate. I'm not saying everything's going to happen all at once, but I think things are just going to keep getting more and more crazy. Okay? But we got to make a Mercury connection here real fast, because remember, I told you the guy that they want you to reelect is Goldie Wilson, and Goldie Wilson is played by Donald Full I Love. So Full I Love, what a name is that, guys? Who has the last name Full I Love? Like, doesn't that make you be like, oh, what a interesting name to have? Yeah, mercury is used to turn lead to gold, exactly. And Donald Full I Love, on the day of the election coming up, guys, the guy who plays the mayor who wants to be reelected in the movie, he'll be exactly 276 mercurial years. Exactly. And that's important because a Mercury year is 88 days. An orbital period is 88 days. Trump equals 88. That means Donald Full I Love will be 88 days times 276. So he'll be 276 Mercury years old. Captain Flatastic says he fully loves Donald. Yeah, that's funny. Full I love Donald. Wow, that's interesting actually, isn't it? His name literally, you could say his name as Full I Love Donald. I love Donald fully. But anyway, a huge Mercury connection because Mercury is the god of transportation and messages. This is clearly a message on the vehicle, and this is a vehicle, right? And Mercury is the god of transportation. That's why they're driving this around on a vehicle. Both guys, they did. Both guys were trying to be elected on a vehicle, which is a Mercury connection, okay? And Mercury is 88. This whole movie ties to Mercury and the 88, pretty much. So now we have to fast forward. We have to fast forward to a few days ago. So on the 25th of October, a few days ago, the anniversary of the beginning of the movie Back to the Future, which took place on October 25th, 1985, we had a huge thing that happened. Freddie Freeman hits a walk-off home run to win the game for the Dodgers. Okay, before I get into this, remember, I told you in the movie they travel back to November 5th, 1955, right? So who do you guys think was in the World Series? Who do you guys think was in the World Series the year that they travel back to in the movie? Let's see who was in the World Series in 1955. 1955 World Series. Oh, would you look at that, guys? The freaking teams for the 1955 World Series, the year they go back to in Back to the Future, was the Dodgers and the Yankees. And look who's in the World Series now. 2024 World Series. Let me just pull it up. The Dodgers and the Yankees. The only difference is that the Dodgers back then were part of Brooklyn. So they were both part of New York, but now the Dodgers are in LA. Okay? And what are the LA? What's LA, guys? L is the 12th letter, A is the first letter. 121. 121 gigawatts. Okay? LA is 121 gigawatts. So anyways, the year they travel back to in the Back to the Future, the same World Series that's happening now, the Dodgers and the Yankees. Now, guess who won game one? Guess who lost game one of that World Series in 1955? This guy, Donald Newcomb. And look at his birthday, guys. June 14th. I hope you guys are following this because it's absolutely insane. Like, you're telling me that the World Series in the Back to the Future 1955 was the Dodgers and the Yankees, and the guy who loses game one of that series was Donald, and he's born the same day as Donald Trump. And his nickname was Nuke. Nuke. That doesn't sound good. Remember, Trump was born 333 days after the nuclear test, the Trinity test. But yeah, this guy is Donald. He's born on Donald Trump's birthday. And this is the World Series that was happening in 1955 in Back to the Future. Okay? And remember, in Back to the Future, Doc asked, he wants to find out the winners of the World Series. They literally mention the World Series in the movies. They want you to notice that. I'm not trying to predict who's going to win. Sorry, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to show you how it's all connected. But who won this World Series in 1955 between the Yankees and Dodgers? Well, it was the Brooklyn Dodgers. So I don't know if history repeats. So if history repeats, the Dodgers look like the more likely team. And don't forget, Jackie Robinson was in this game. And Jackie Robinson, look, game two of the World Series in 1955 was won 4-2. And Jackie equals 42. Jackie was in this World Series. Jackie wore the number 42. Okay, Jackie equals Kamala. You see how perfect that is? Jackie and Kamala are almost a 4-cipher match. So anyway, Jackie Robinson was in the 1955 World Series. And Jackie Robinson, it was 4-2. And guess what the score of yesterday's game 2 was in this year's World Series? It was 4-2. They literally repeated the same score for game 2 of the 1955 World Series and the same one yesterday. The same score, 4-2. So how crazy. Anyways, now that we know that the World Series is completely connected to the Back to the Future World Series, we have to talk about Freddie Freeman, because Freddie Freeman, he hit a grand slam winning home run to end the game on the October 25th, which is the day that the Back to the Future movie starts. Back to the Future movie starts October 25th, 1985. Exactly 39 years later, Freddie Freeman hits a walk-off home run. And he did this almost exactly 36 years and 10 nights after Gibson hit a walk-off home run for the Dodgers in 1988. Here's your 88, guys. Back to the Future. 88 miles per hour. So what happens the other day on the Back to the Future anniversary is Freddie Freeman repeats what happened in 1988, which is the 88 miles per hour reference, okay? Now, here's what's all comes together, right? In Back to the Future, they need to go 88 miles per hour. They do that on the movie opens on 10/25/85. 39 years later on 10/25/2024, Frederick Freeman hits a home run to win the game, just like Gibson did in 1988. Both of these things happened in California, and California equals 88. And the guy who hit the home run the other night was Frederick. This is a clue, guys, because Frederick should immediately make you think of Frederick Trump, the patriarch of the Trump family. Trump equals 88. Freeman equals 88. California 88. 88 miles per hour. He repeats the same thing that happened from 1988 with Kirk Gibson. Now, the patriarch of the Trump family was Frederick, and Trump's father was Frederick. So Trump's grandfather, Trump's father, and Trump's brother, all Frederick. And that's why Frederick Freeman hit the home run to win the game, okay? And if you guys haven't seen 7-1's videos, this is all connected to the birth certificate and the freedom that you guys got to go watch 7-1's videos. He talks about how Donald Trump was at McDonald's because he was trying to tell you that as soon as you become an actual citizen of the US, the politicians serve you. Trump was serving the people, okay? So most people don't understand, and even I don't understand fully, but 7-1 it knows about this stuff, okay? So anyways, what we know here is we got the Frederick connection to Frederick Trump, okay? Now here's where it gets crazy. Frederick Freeman, Frederick Charles Freeman, and Frederick Christ Trump. Literally has the Christ in his name. Frederick Christ Trump, Frederick Charles Freeman. So look at this. I started this whole decode talking about number 121 in the connection to the Back to the Future. The dog in the movie goes to 1:21 a.m. In order to use the flux capacitor, you need 1.21 gigawatts, okay? Revelation 1:21. But look at this. From the birth of Frederick Freeman to the death of Trump's father, Frederick Trump, or Fred Trump as he's known, was exactly 121 lunar phases. No extra days. Do you guys see? I was just talking about this number, and then you measure from Frederick to Frederick, and you get the 121. And it's the 121 gigawatts. And look at what gigawatt equals. It literally equals Trump, equals California, equals Trump. This guy repeats the same thing that happened in 1988. And again, in the movie, you need to go 88 miles an hour. Wow. And just to remind you about all the revelations, the doc is talking about a revelation he had for the flux capacitor, and he sent the dog back forward to 1:21 a.m. So it's all connected to this, Trump's father, I think. And look, Fred Trump equals 121. But now we got one more number to talk about. And this one's pretty crazy because I told you guys from the two dates in the movie Back to the Future, 11/5/55 to the future date, 10/21/2015, is exactly 21900 days. 219. So why is this movie, pointing us to the number 219? Well, look at this, guys. Time Travelers, 219. Frederick Trump, 219. DeLorean, 219. So they literally have to use the DeLorean in the movies to travel 2190 days, because this is the amount of days they travel in the movies, guys. From the past to the future, that's the amount of days that they travel. And the DeLorean equals 219. And not only is it from the past to the future date 219, Frederick Trump equals 219, like Time Travelers. Now look, Frederick Trump is connected to Frederick Freeman, who hit a home run just the other night. And look at how many weeks Frederick Freeman was born after the movie released. Exactly 219 weeks, guys. Frederick Freeman, from the movie to Frederick Freeman, 219 weeks. So 219 is also the gematria of One World Trade Center. Now, if you use the rule of Colel, the number 219 could actually be 218. And 218 is a huge number with Trump and the moon. Please hit those like buttons, guys. Let's get up to 100 before the stream's over. We got 177 in the chat and only 80 likes. So I would appreciate it if we can get those up a bit. But yeah, and why is this 219 so important with Frederick Freeman? Because he hit a home run on October 25th, the same day they released this. So here it is, guys. Here is the mic drop end to this decode. The same day that Frederick Trump, who's born 219 weeks after Back to the Future, hits a home run to win the game, and the same day that the New York Post releases this album, this magazine cover, Trump, Back to the Future, Donald Trump was on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast on episode 2219. Mic drop. Wow. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Donald Trump was on the 219 episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, the same day that this album cover released, and the same day that Freddie Freeman hit this home run. Freddie Freeman was born 219 weeks after Back to the Future. In Back to the Future, they traveled 219 days, and Time Travelers equals 219. DeLorean equals 219. Frederick Trump, 219. How perfect. And Trump was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And don't forget, guys, this is the day the movie starts, is 10/25. Yeah, you're right, Dr. Savage. 2219 is the 1888 composite number, which also connects to all this. Okay? So yeah, this is why. I was wondering, what's up with this 219? Why did they choose Back to the Future 219 days between the dates? Well, and why did Trump go on Joe Rogan's podcast the same day they released this? Because it's the 219. It was perfect, man. And then this guy just happens to be born 219 weeks after the movie. And he hit this home run the same night. And this is his dad's name is Trump's dad's name is Frederick, just like this guy. So thank you guys so much. That was my mic drop moment. But how perfect, man. And there's probably more 219s that I even missed if you look more deeply into it. Yeah, I don't believe in time travel really either, but I'm just saying that this is kind of the narrative of the movie, so that's why I put it. But Have you guys ever heard of the thing where these elites can make their consciousness be transferred from an old body into a new body? There's a show that used to go be on TV called The 100, and in that show, the elites, they preserve their bloodline by taking a new body and then implanting their new consciousness into a younger body so they can live forever, essentially. Um, which is kind of like time travel, but it's not really time travel. But anyway, I think that's kind of interesting. Morgan says we are all scripted. Yes, indeed. That is true. We are all scripted. I told you guys in my yesterday, on the anniversary of them going back to the future, I was sitting here doing a decode on Back to the Future. And where I'm at in Europe, they turned the clocks back the same night I was doing a decode about Back to the Future. So that just shows you how I'm scripted. I was destined to be doing this decode on Back to the Future during this time. I've never talked about Back to the Future on my whole channel, guys. I've made 369 videos, which is an interesting number, right? 369 videos I've made. And not one of these videos have I talked about Back to the Future. And the one video I'm making about Back to the Future, the next day they release a magazine cover with Trump and Back to the Future. And then the next day I'm doing a decode on Back to the Future. And this is the day they turn the clock back, October 27th, today. Like, my girlfriend texted me and said, "Hey, babe, don't forget the clock's turned back today." And I'm like, what? What did you just say? She didn't even get it at first. I was like, babe, do you realize what you just told me? You just texted me while I'm doing a decode on Back to the Future and told me to remember that the clock's turned back. I didn't even know. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, today of all days, this is the day it happens. Like, so yes, Morgan, we are all scripted. I'm scripted. Everything I do is scripted. I'm telling you. I'm meant to be doing this right now. Everything I'm meant to be doing, everybody that's in the chat right now who's listening to me, that's your destiny, man. It's your destiny. So that's why I'm so excited all the time, because I believe I'm following my destiny, guys. I believe I'm right where God wants me. I'm right where I need to be, right? At all times. Even if it's sucky, even if I'm miserable, I'm right where I need to be. Yeah, Dr. Savage. I mean, me and Dr. Savage have a lot of overlaps too, and things that have happened between me and Dr. Savage, with me and Sean, with me and Joseph. There's been so many like crazy things that have happened. You know, I mean, why do you think my mom named me Cody? And why do you think I'm decoding time? I'll show you my code right here. Here's my organic code. First of all, my dad's name is Scott, guys. Okay, first of all. So it's interesting that this whole thing with Scott is going on. My dad's name is Scott. But anyways, my mom named me Cody, spelled C-O-D-Y. And my name is one of the few names that's a direct match to time. And on my channel, I'm constantly decoding time. My dad's name is Scott, yeah. So in the movie, the guy's always saying "Great Scott." And every time I hear that, I think of my dad, because that's my dad's name. And you know what, where I'm from, guys? My last name is Robertson. It's Scottish, you know? My last name is Robertson. Robertson is a Norman French or Scottish English name, right? Scott. My dad's name is Scott. My name comes from Scottish. My dad's last name is not Scott, is not Robertson, by the way. I don't have my dad's last name. My dad's last name is Clucky. Oh my gosh. So you guys want to, here, I'll show you my dad's last name. Look at this. My dad's last name is Clucky. So imagine my name was Cody Clucky. I still laugh every time I think about what my name could have been. But my mom, she would not let my dad give me that name. She said, no, don't give him that name. My mom was protecting me, guys. But yeah, my dad's last name is Clucky, so I almost became Cody Clucky. Let's see what that equals in gematria. Let's see. Well, nothing really important to me, but Cody Clucky could have been my name. Cluck, 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 chicken. But anyway, I ended up getting the Robertson last name. And that's Scottish. And my dad's first name is Scott. And again, my mom gave me the name Cody, which matches time. And in the movie Back to the Future, they're always talking about Great Scott and time. 47, 20, 61. Look at how my three numbers in gematria add up to 128, man. That's crazy. 128. Notice how Trump equals time too. You know, Trump equals time, 47. Look how Great Scott equals 128. This is crazy. Does Scott equal Christ? Hold on. Oh yeah, it does. Scott equals Christ, yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah, it's just a little bit of organic code. And so yeah, my channel is literally about me decoding time. So my name is Cody and I decode time. I mean, what was the whole thing that I did here? Did I not just decode time for you guys? I just did time measurements. So like I'm destined, it's almost like I'm destined to do this. I'm a coder, my name's Cody. I decode time and Cody equals time. And why do you think Cody Rhodes, who I'm connected to, the only famous person right now with the name Cody, is Cody Rhodes, who has my same initials. And why do you think Cody Rhodes was born in 1985? Cody Rhodes was born 3 days before Back to the Future came out. You guys understand? Cody equals time, and the movie that's all about time, it came out 4 days after his birthday. See, Cody Rhodes' birthday, 1985. Back to the Future, released on July 3rd. So yeah, anyways, from Cody Rhodes' birthday to Back to the Future, 3 days. And again, Cody equals time. So, yep, I don't know, guys. You might want to watch out. I might be a secret agent time traveler, right? Yeah, that's a good point. Clucky has the luck and key in it. Interesting. My dad's last name has the L-U-C-K. Right? And the K-E-Y, the key. The lucky. Wow, lucky. Maybe I need to change my name to Clucky. Maybe I'll actually have some luck with my with my with my investments, so I can have a bit of extra money that I need. I need to be a bit more lucky. I've been having some bad luck with my investments and my money, but yeah. So maybe, yeah. I almost was named Cody Clucky. Let's just put it that way. But I always thought of chickens, right? But my dad loves his last name. You know, my dad's very proud of his last name. He's always like, "You're a Clucky," he says. So anyway, I don't think you guys want to hear me ramble on about my family history, but just something interesting to think about. Oh, my dad's full name. I got to show this. I don't think my dad cares. Look at my dad's full name, guys. Scott Allen Clucky, right? Jorge Mario Bergoglio. My dad's name literally equals my dad's full name literally equals the full name of the Pope. And my dad was born 201 days after the Pope. So let that sink in for a second. That's an organic code. My dad is definitely not a Jesuit. I know that for a fact. But my dad's name literally equals the Pope, and he's born 201 days after the Pope. So if any of you people out there really want to like try to do a real decode on me, because there is one decoder out there who tries to say I'm a shill, and he comes up with these stupid phrases like Mr. Cody R. Clucky is equals 201. That means I'm a Jesuit. No, but if you really want to think I'm a Jesuit, look at my dad's name and the Pope's name and measure from the Pope's birth to my dad's birth, and then you might actually have a connection. You might actually be able to say I'm a Jesuit. But I can tell you my dad's not a Jesuit, okay? He just happens to have a 201. And he just happens to be born 201 days after the Pope's birthday. Yeah, I was in Bavaria, though. That's where the Illuminati was founded, right? The Order of Illuminati. Which also equals 201. So, man, guys, so my dad's name equals 201. My girlfriend lives where the Illuminati was founded. And they both have the 201s. Maybe I'm a Jesuit, guys. I don't know. Maybe somewhere along the line, I'm a Jesuit. I don't know. All I know is I would know if I'm a Jesuit. I'm sure I would have a lot more. I'm sure I wouldn't be living, eating rice and oranges for the last days. If I was a Jesuit, I'm sure I'd have more money, and I'm sure I'd have a better channel with more followers. Yeah. Oh, guys, I forgot. What does my name equal in Satanic? Okay, here's another 201. Here you go. How about this, guys? Oh, look. My name equals 201. Now I might really be a Jesuit. Cody equals 201. My dad's name equals 201. My dad's born 201 days after Jorge Mario Bergoglio. I live where the Illuminati was founded. Yeah, but I'm sure that my dad is not a Jesuit. My dad is like completely, he's not a Jesuit. He's the last person in the world you'd ever think to be a Jesuit. Dr. Savage is saying his dad's name equals 228. His birthday is 228, and my name equals 228. Yeah, see, Dr. Savage, he has that same thing, you know? Crazy. Yeah, that's the guy's name. That's Dion Sandals. He used to watch my channel, and now he tries to say I'm a Jesuit because Mr. Cody R. Robertson equals 201 or something. I don't know. And he spells Mr. like Mister. Like, who spells that? How can you decode that? How is that even relevant? Like, I get that sometimes I bring in some ciphers, guys, and some of my stuff, it could be experimental. I'm experimental with my decodes sometimes, but most of the stuff I do is dead on, Like, I don't make up phrases. I don't make up Mr. Cody R. Robertson is a Jesuit from Ohio and equals 201. Yeah, okay. Like, if you really want a connection, you need to type in my dad's name, you need to type in my name, the Pope's name, and then measure from the Pope to my dad. Then you might actually have a case, right? But yeah. Okay, I've ranted on long enough about this. So what do you guys have to say about the decode here? if if I'm a Jesuit, I got the shit under the stick. Yeah, that's true. If I'm a Jesuit, I would be in a much different situation than I am right now. I wouldn't have to leave Germany every 3 months um, just to like to stay with my girlfriend. I wouldn't have to leave every 3 months. Okay. That's funny, Dr. Savage. I don't want to say that on the stream, but yeah, that's funny. Go forth and set the world on fire. Yeah. That's what that's what Ignatius of Loyola said. All right, guys. Well, let me know if you guys have anything to add. Yeah, Mr. is an abbreviation for Mr. I know, but it doesn't mean you can actually say I'm a Jesuit just because you add Mr. in front of my name. I mean, who does that? I mean, I get that you can do it, but that's not how we do decodes. Plus, you should see some of the other things that the guy types. He types these long sentences just so he can get a match to something. And I'm not. Yeah. Joseph wants the key points. Oh man, key points. Well, key points. Let me think. Well, first of all, I'll go through this really fast for Joseph, because he asked for the key points. Okay, the big point, one of the big points I wanted to mention, Joseph, that's pretty crazy. And I know you don't often use this cipher, but it is crazy. From the release date of Back to the Future to this election is exactly 2,053 weeks, exactly. That's the gematria of time travel. Okay, and in the same cipher, flux capacitor equals 253 and antichristos 253. The antichrist is connected to the flux capacitor, the lightning, like the lightning falls, right? Well, anyway, it's exactly 2053 weeks from the movie to the election, and 2053 is the 310th prime number, and the election is on the 310th day of the year. So that's huge. I mean, what's the chances that it matches the time travel? Time travel 2053 weeks. It's the 310 prime. The election's on 310. And that's on top of every other connection I've shown that this election is tied to. And then I showed how in the movie, the two people that they drive by and they want you to elect is Red Thomas in the past and Goldie Wilson in the future. Now, if you go watch the parody on this, Goldie Wilson actually becomes Barack Obama. So Joseph, you might like to look into this. Goldie Wilson in the parody of Back to the Future, they call him Goldie Wilson. They call him Barack Obama. But anyways, Red Thomas and Goldie Wilson are the two people they want you to elect. And Thomas Wilson is the guy who plays Biff Tannen. And that, of course, connects you back to Trump. Thomas Wilson. And red and gold are the last stages of alchemy, right? And don't forget, the date in the movie is the election. 11-5, exactly 69 years ago. Okay. And Joseph, the World Series right now, the two teams, the Dodgers and the Yankees, they played in the 1955 World Series, which is the same year that they travel back to in time. And again, flux capacitor equals antichristos and is very close to time travel. I know it's not the same number, but and the amount of days between the past date and the future date is the 121st pentagonal number. And in the movie, they need 1.21 gigawatts. And during the beginning of the movie, the doc says, I had a revelation, which equals 121. And that was right after he sent the dog Einstein to the future, and he arrived at 121. This is the first thing that happens in the movie. Einstein goes to the future. Einstein equals 121. He arrives 1 minute later on 121. And then the doc talks about a revelation he had about the flux capacitor, and revelation equals 121 like Antichrist, flux capacitor equals 149 like Antichrist and Revelation. And then, like I said, the amount of days between the two dates is the 121 pentagonal. And the date they travel to in the future is 1021, like 121. And again, the 121 is the 11th square and the fifth star number, which is 11-5, like the date of the election, 11-5. Satan equals 55, lightning 55. Now, Joseph, you might like this one. When Freddie Freeman hit his home run, it was connected to the 1988 World Series. And of course, the Back to the Future is all connected to 88. But look at what Kirk Gibson was doing. He was in Michigan. Trump was also in Michigan recently. But remember, guys, if you haven't seen Joseph's video, Barack Obama was in Michigan with Eminem, and Eminem has a song called Antichrist where it says the devil came to Michigan. And when Kirk Gibson was watching this play, he was in Michigan. And Trump was also in Michigan a few days ago. So everyone keeps going to Michigan. So Michigan has been a big theme. And this is the big one, Joseph. In capitals, Freeman equals 88. He hit his home run in California, which equals 88. He was basically compared to the guy who hit the home run in 1988, Kirk Gibson. And Frederick Freeman is Frederick Trump, which is Trump's grandfather and father, both named Frederick. And Frederick Freeman and Frederick Trump are born 121 lunar phases apart, like the 1.21 gigawatts. And Fred Trump equals 121. So yeah, guys, I'm just going over this quick. You guys have already seen this. But here's the big one, Joseph. Here's the end of the decode, the mic drop. The days in the Back to the Future are separated. The past and the future date are separated by 21900 days. That's the gematria of time travelers and Frederick Trump. But Frederick Freeman, who hit the home run, he was born exactly 219 weeks after Back to the Future released. And here it is, Joseph. So keep in mind, Frederick Freeman, who hit the home run on 10/25, he was born 219 weeks after Back to the Future. And the day that Frederick Freeman hit the home run was the same day that they released this magazine cover, and the same day that Trump was on episode 219. So hopefully you get that, Joseph. Frederick Freeman, born 219 weeks after Back to the Future. And then the same day he hits that home run, Donald Trump was on 219 podcasts, and they released this cover all on the same day. And this is all on the day that they travel. The movie begins on this day, 10/25/1985. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my spiel all over again. All right, let me see what you guys. How long have I been live? We're gonna hang it up in about 5 minutes. So if you guys have anything left to add, please do so. Yep, you guys got to go check out Joseph's video on that Obama and Eminem thing. It was crazy. um, Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Face Diaper. Thank you, XX. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you. So again, guys, what I showed you in this video shows you that this movie was talking about this election, okay? So let's see what happens. I think this election has been prophesied and shown in many ways. Miriam says, do I know Rambo from the Truth Codes? Yeah, I do know Rambo. I mean, I used to watch him on Zach's channel. I need to reach out to him. I have his email. I need to reach out to him and see if he wants to ever do a collab. I'd love to collab with Rambo, honestly. Yeah, Trump's tie is the gold, guys. Why is Trump wearing gold? Again, it's the alchemy process, lead to gold. And remember, Trump is represented by Goldie Wilson in the movie. The guy Donald Full I love plays Goldie. Donald plays Goldie. And then Donald Trump's wearing the gold tie, right? Something's going to happen and gold is skyrocketing right now. The price of gold is at all-time highs. Yeah, I think he knows about me, Miriam. I think Casey reached out to Rambo about collaborating. So I'll definitely reach out to him. I've been forgetting to do that for too long now. I need to do that. So I definitely will. Yeah, Eminem is a perfect match to Dragon. Yeah. Somebody in the chat says Silver. Silver's about ready to go crazy too. Yeah, I think Silver's breaking out as well. The Silver. Silver's the moon, right? Guys, make sure you go check out Lambda 115's videos. He's always connecting how Trump is connected to the moon. In fact, I have a connection with Trump and the moon as well, but I don't think I'm going to show it. I'll show it another time. Let's see. Yeah, funny, Morgan, you're talking about the same thing I was talking about when you typed this. I was literally talking about him. Yeah, I think silver's about ready to take off. But I don't even have any money to invest in silver, so I'm just hoping the cryptocurrencies I have do something finally. I think the one vice that God has given me in my life is always struggling with funds, guys. I save my money very well, and I only buy food really and buy places, but I'm always like always something with money with me. But hopefully that changes soon. Yeah, free man is like his rules don't apply, right? Yep. Oh, guys, the same day that Freeman hit the home run, I heard Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was at the World Series. Hold on. What's this? I heard someone say that. that Morgan Freeman was at the beginning of the World Series. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that was wrong. I don't know. True that, Dr. Savage. I also hate money. Sometimes I wish we could go back to just sharing work together and trading and bartering. The whole world is run on money. Everyone's just out to get that dollar bill instead of actually helping everyone. But that's the world we live in. That's how they control us, really, too. Let's see. Somebody says Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix. I wouldn't be surprised. They uh they look a lot like each other. Morgan Freeman, Jimi Hendrix. Robert Frederick. Nice to see you, Robert Frederick. You have my last name and the Frederick, which I've been talking about here. But you're a much better Frederick. So thank you for stopping in. Yeah, Face Diapers says I always thought Jimi Hendrix was Morgan Freeman and Elvis was Trump. Yeah, there's definitely comparisons. XRP will make you a free man. Yeah, maybe, unless it makes you a slave first. Who knows with that? But yeah, if I could start a community, if I could buy a big piece of land, guys, and build a bunch of tiny houses on it and just let everyone stay there. If I had that money, I would do it. That's been my dream for years. I want to buy a land and I want to build tiny houses where people can come and stay on the land, but the government's always got to have their hands in stuff. Like you can't have anything in this world without having to answer to some sort of government. It's just so annoying. Like no one, guys, let's look at reality here. There's no such thing as borders. These are imaginary lines on a piece of paper that they tell you there's no such thing as I own this land or you own this land. The land is given to us by God, all of it. How can we say, oh, this land is my land and you over there, that's your line. You got to stay on your side of the line. It's the most illogical thing that I've ever heard in my life. Human beings are so illogical. Humanity is delusional that they think that there's actually things such as borders and land that each one owns. Yeah, it's right. It's all an idea that we agree upon is real, but it's not actually real. It's all fake. So if I ever do get money with my investments, I want to do bigger things, but right now the best I can do is be here with you guys and just share the stuff I find and have a community with you guys here. So time for another decode. I don't have any other decodes, sorry. Okay, well, I don't know, guys. Sorry, I went on a spiel, but I mean, it's just something it's been eating at me for a while, so just letting it out. Yeah, there is some truth in the saying you will own nothing and be happy. Of course, we know what they mean by that. They mean they want to make everything owned by them. But in the true sense of the word, if human beings were living simply like they should, everyone would be sharing stuff anyway, so you won't actually own anything. You don't own the land, it's God's land. God owns this land. We don't own anything. We're just temporarily pretending to own these things. And most of the stuff that we own is just material stuff that gives us no, it doesn't do anything for us. It just makes us materialistic. I don't own a lot, guys. Everything I own is literally in my backpack. I don't have much. If you want to call me owning stuff, I own clothes and a backpack. That's pretty much, I travel all over with just that. I've never needed more. As long as I have food to eat and a place to stay, I don't need so much more. But yeah, guys, I've got off on a bunch of rants in this decode. So hopefully people can stand all the extra stuff that I've talked about. But thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, we live in a material world, but like we make a bunch of extra material things that we don't need. Think about all the factories in the world that make all these worthless kids toys. Think about that for a second. Have you ever walked in like all these kids stores and looked at all these different toys with all these different plastics, all these different things they make in these factories? A little kid will play with a cardboard box. A little kid will play with a branch. Kids don't need all these toys, and yet we make all these toys, and then people's houses are filled up with toys. And this is just one example. There's other examples, but I'm not saying we shouldn't make things. But what if we took all the money that we used to make these things, and we put it into actually helping the world? Like, instead of making our kids just want material things, the kid will go outside and play in the dirt and play with the sticks and play with the leaves and play with the dog. Does the kid really need like all these different toys? Yeah, and most kids, like Rachel said, they play with them for a day and then they're on to something else. And then all they become is just this stuff laying around that no one's using. And then we have, just think about all the stuff that got washed away in the North Carolina floods. Think about all the trash that got washed out of people's houses and into the water streams. We're completely destroying our planet with all of our junk. It's just everywhere. Yeah, that's true. They make thousands of cars daily, and I need credit slavery scheme to get one. Yep. Yep, that's true. Yeah, how are the prices in the United States, guys? I haven't been in the United States for a year and a half. Are the prices really going up a lot there? I know here in Albania they've been going up too. Yeah, I mean, if you really look at this as a simulation, yeah, but I think this simulation could be a much more, if you're looking at it that way, it could be a much more, yeah, but maybe it's just not the destiny of it, right? It's just not destiny for this simulation to be. The judgment has to come at some point, I guess. Dr. Savage says prices have risen 37%. Wow. So how much is a gallon of milk there now? Because again, I haven't been in the United States for a while, so I mean, I can only imagine, guys. I can only imagine. Yeah, milk is $3, huh? Wow. For the Walmart milk, the bad Walmart milk is $3. What the heck? What? Rachel says a burrito supreme from Taco Bell is $6.36. What? Ay, ay, ay. I mean, it's going up here too, guys. In Albania, it used to be cheaper here. Like, I'm eating the cheapest stuff I can get at this point because I just can't afford it right now. Gasoline is $2 a liter in Netherlands, or €2 a liter. Wow, that's a lot. That's probably like $250 a liter. 359. Yeah, guys. Let's hope that I don't know. Let's just hope something, because I don't know if we're going to see an end in sight, but someone, Robert Frederick says gas is 265 where I'm at. That's not so bad. All right, we're up to a 1 hour, 35 minutes. Thank you guys for sharing all that. And let's just keep each other in our thoughts and prayers. We're in this together. So we're going to make it, guys. We're going to make it. Yeah, I get you, Dr. Savage. Yeah, you're probably right there. Nothing will change until the fiat currency's dead. Yeah. Guys, by the way, watch out for tomorrow. Tomorrow is 95 years after the stock market crash. Oh, man, I'm going to make a video. Tomorrow, I'm going to make a video about tomorrow and Halloween. Yeah, I'm going to make that video tomorrow. Tomorrow is 95 years after the stock market crash, and Halloween equals 95. So that there's something could go down tomorrow. Tomorrow is 10/28, so it's a huge day. Remember Matthew Perry last year. All right, guys, take care out there. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. Thank you for the support, for the likes, for the love, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. God bless. See you in the next one.